right now. We do 45 minutes every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and hopefully to make a whole bunch of progress in our side splits together. I hope you're ready because there's nothing else that we're going to wait for. Let's get the warm up going. We're going to lift the knee as high as we can in the hip cars, and we're going to open up that hip directly to the side. Keep the knee high. We're going to rotate that leg up so that the ankle comes horizontal first. And then if you can, keep going. Rotate, 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 rotate. So that the ankle comes up as high as you can bring it. Then bring the leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Pull this leg back. And that is one rep. Welcome back, Che. Thank you for the legs. We got 10 more of those on the left side, 10 on the right side. Let's do it. High knee. Open up that hip to leg to the side. Rotate the leg so that the ankle is up, and then keep on going. Keep on bringing it up, 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 up. Bring the leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, and we have rep 1, 2, 3. Open ankle down and back. 4. Open ankle down and back. 5. Open ankle down and back. 6. Open ankle down and back. 7. Open ankle down and back. 8. Open ankle down and back. 9. Open ankle down and back. 10. Open ankle down and back. Whew, that is hip cars on one side. Now we got hip cars on the other side. Let's go. Same thing. High knee. Open. Ankle. Down and back. 10 reps. Open. Or sorry, knee. Open. Ankle. Down and back. 1. Open. Ankle. Down and back. 2. Open. Ankle. Down and back. 3. Open. Ankle. Down and back. 4. Open. Ankle. Down and back. 5. Open. Ankle. Down and back. 6. Open. Ankle. Down and back. 7. Open. Ankle. Down and back. 8. Open. Ankle. Down and back. 9. Open. Ankle. Down and back. 10. Open. Ankle. Down and back. I think that's technically 11. Whew. Those are hip cars. Going forward. Let me know if we're going too fast, and I'll slow down just a little bit, but otherwise we're going to keep that pacing and crush some more hip cars because we got to go backwards. Welcome everybody. We are doing 45 minutes of live side split stretching. We do this every day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and hopefully to make a whole bunch of progress in our side splits together. If you're just joining in, we go live every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we're doing our first warm-up exercise, hip cars, and we're going to do them in reverse now. In reverse, they look like this. We're going to flex the hamstring, flex the glutes, pull this knee back behind our standing leg. We're going to feel the stretch here in the hip flexor. This is called hip extension. We're going to extend this arm, or this leg, to the side directly, and we're going to aim to get the knee and ankle to horizontal. And I want you to feel like you're really cool. You're like, whoosh. All right? From here, we're going to sort of angle the knee down, bring the ankle up as high as you can, rotate that leg in the hip socket, and it's okay if the knee comes down a little bit when you do that. Then do the opposite. Throw the ankle back down as low as you can go. Lift that knee high and finish by bringing the knee to the front. That is a lot of words. Might be a little bit confusing. Don't worry. You can follow along. Bring the leg back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. This is 2. Back. Side. Ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. I think that's 3. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. 4. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down. 5. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 6, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 7, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 8, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 9, last one, back, side, ankle up, really get that rotation in the hip, ankle down, 10, oh, that is hip curls. Going backwards for our left side, or right side, depending on whichever side you started with. Let's finish up with the final leg, and let's go. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. Hey, my hip usually pops right here, did not, which is either a good sign or a bad sign, I guess. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. Oh, no, pop this time. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 3, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 5, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 6, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 7, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 8, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, 9. Remember, I'm counting when the knee is supposed to be up and in front. Don't let that knee chill out. Keep that knee high. Bring the leg back. Last one. Side, ankle up, ankle down, 10. Oh, those are the hip cars. Going forward, going backwards, going left, going right. We are all done with hip cars. And it's time to move on to our warm-up exercise number 2. It is the elephant walk. The hip cars are pretty intense. They're pretty long. We're trying to get a lot of movement into the hips to get them warmed up, lubricated, and ready to do stuff. But if your legs are tired now, this part is a little bit easier. Elephant walk looks a little bit like this. We're basically just trying to start off by touching our toes. We're making this L shape with our body. We're trying to fold at the hips. I want you to bring the belly button down towards the ground. If you're stuck a little bit higher up because your hamstrings are tight, that is absolutely a-okay. It is part of the process. From here, we're going to hang out. We're going to relax. The hip cars were intense. Now we get to chill for a couple seconds. Whew. And your hamstrings should be getting nice and tight. Keep on trying to bring the belly button down towards the ground. If you have a slight bend in the knee because your knees hurt otherwise, that is a-okay. Keep on trying to bring the belly button down. Your hamstrings will tighten up. Maybe you'll feel some discomfort at the insertion points of the hamstring muscles. What that means is where the hamstring muscles connect to your bones so that they can actually move you. Because if it's just soft, wiggly stuff inside your leg, you don't move. They got to connect into your bone to force your bones to move. So the insertion point for the hamstrings is in the hip. All right, we've hung out here for enough time. Let's start bending one knee and straightening out the other leg. We're going to make this a little bit more intense. We're going to get into that tight hamstring position. We're going to move a little bit. We're going to force those muscles to contract and relax and contract and relax. We're going to bend one knee, straighten the other leg, then switch to the other side, bend knee, straighten the other leg, bend knee, straighten the other leg, bend, straighten, bend, straighten. I guess technically you're doing that all at the same time. Bend, straighten, bend, straighten, bend, straighten. But you know what I'm talking about. Okay, we're gonna do this for a couple more seconds. Really focus on feeling all the weirdness in your hamstrings that you don't even have a name for. Squirming around back there, shifting. And again, we're not taking this explosively. We're not taking it crazy. We're just nice and slow going from side to side. I think if you're worried about safety, what those feelings are, if you're doing them nice and gentle, you should be fine. If you're explosively attacking this hamstring stretch and doing a flying kick into this hamstring stretch, then maybe that would be a little bit of a problem. But while we are just wiggling and shifting back and forth, for the most part, it should be okay. Whew. All right, we've done a whole bunch of bending and straightening of the legs. I hope your hamstrings are feeling loose, maybe exhausted. Shake out the legs. If your toes are tingling, that is normal. And relax, relax, relax. We're gonna do some thoracic rotations. What that basically means is we are rotating the upper half of our back, but to make it a little bit more interesting, we're gonna do it from that position that we were just in. So legs about shoulder width apart, fold, bring the belly button down, and once you are here, we're gonna bend one knee. I'm gonna bend my left, my right is straight. I'm gonna reach across to the other side with my left hand and push, help rotate the chest to the right, help extend the right arm up into the sky and behind me. Breathe, really reach, and come on down. That is half of one rep. Let's go and do 5. Switch. Right knee is bent, left leg is straight, right hand reaching across, chest rotating to left, hands going up into the air. My eyes are looking at the fingers, trying to reach deep over there. And that is 1 total rep. We got 4 more. Let's go. Twist. Thoracic rotations. That's 2. On every reach, I want you to try to reach just a little bit further than your previous one. Again, we're not doing anything crazy and explosive. We're just doing a little bit more slow and steady. And reach. I think that's 3. And this is 4. 1, last one. Reach. And reach. Oh, come on up. I hope you feel a little bit of a workout here in your shoulders, in your shoulder blades. Because that is not easy. It's not easy to keep on pushing and going all the way around. Especially when you're fighting against gravity to lift that arm and rotate that chest. Whew. That is thoracic rotations. That is our second warm-up exercise. We're going to move right on in to the third and final warm-up exercise, and that is the Cossack switch. I'm going to move these out of the way for a second real quick, and we're going to get right into it. The Cossack switch is all about getting our butt low into this squished position, and then we're going to move from side to side in this low position. But don't worry, we're not going to get started right away. We're going to break it down into pieces. First thing I want to do is have you try to hang out and squish down into this deep squat-looking position with the leg out. I want you to bend and squish. I want you to feel the Achilles tendon. I want you to feel the calf stretch. I want you to feel pressure in the quads contracting, holding you up. I want you to feel the pressure in the front of your ankle and pressure in the hip as you slowly squish down. I want you to aim to keep the heels flat when you're in this position when we're exercising from side to side. But for a moment right now, we're going to hug the knee, we're going to squish, we're going to get really compact. And while we're doing that, your heels can come up. It's not a big deal. So we're trying to get real small, real compact, squish all the joints together and help them get used to this squished feeling. On this side, over here, your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are up. This is called external leg rotation because we're rotating the leg from the inside to the outside of the body. And we need this to get the thigh bones to not smash into the hip bones so that we can actually do a side split. And basically from this point in the middle of my body over, my legs are already doing side splits, just 1/2 at a time. That's why we spend a lot of time in the Cossack switch position, because we can do some exercise, we can strengthen some of the muscles in this extended leg, and we're basically already stretching some side splits. From here, I want you to get over to the other side. You can put your hands down and shift your weight over. We're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to feel that Achilles tendon stretch, feel the pressure in the ankle, feel the pressure in the hip, feel the quads firing, and then we're going to try and squish down as low as we can. Squish, squish, squish. From here, once again, heels down, toes up, knees up, Cossack switch, side split leg, external rotation. I'm going to use those words interchangeably, probably, but I'll probably use all of them all at the same time anyway. Whew. From here, once we've hung out here for a little bit, worked on that squish, we're ready to do some switching from side to side. You can watch me do 2 reps and then you can join on in. We're gonna do 10 in total. Ready? I want you to sit back so that your heel is down. If that means you have to be a little bit higher up, that is absolutely a-okay. If you get over to the other side, I want you to try to squish down, work all those squishy muscles that we were just using, and try to get low and compact to the ground. And I just did it without hand support, but you can do the same thing with support with your hands. This reduces your need for balance. It reduces some of the strength requirement in your legs, and it takes a little bit of pressure off your hips. When you get to the other side, I want you to, once again, squish, get as compact as you can, and keep on going. If your knees are hurting, you can come up to a quarter squat and come across first, and then squish. Cool? That's it. Let's go. We're doing 10. I'm gonna start on my right leg. Squish. Get low. Heels are down, toes are up. 1. Once you get to the other side, pause here for a second. Toes are up, heels are down. Keep going. Number 2. 2 is done. Starting 3. 3. Remember, you can always put your hands down to make it a little bit easier. 4. If you want to make it harder, you can sit up a little bit more upright and extend your arm out in front of you. I think this is 6. 7. Oh, squish. Squish. Let's take a little bit of a break. Give everybody a chance to catch up. 9. We got one last one. And 10. Whew. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the Cossack switches. Again, if your knees were a little bit achy, I should have reiterated, you can come up to sort of a half squat, come across first, and then sink down so that there's not as much pressure on your knees in this low position on the ground. That is our Cossack switch, and that is the entirety of our warm-up. Go ahead, grab a sip of water, grab something to drink, and grab a cushion because we're moving on into the hamstring stretch. And it looks a little bit like this. We're extending our legs out in front of us, we're dropping down onto one knee, and we are folding the belly button down into this stretch. We're going to resume that in a second after I actually drink. I scoff too much, and I shoot air out of my nostrils into my cup, and coffee decides to splutter when I do that. So if you were wondering what you were watching just now, that was what that was. I just shot coffee into the cup and then out of the cup. Plus, when I'm talking, my mouth does not form a perfect seal, so now I have a leaky mouth too. Damn. That's embarrassing. Can't even drink coffee. Grown-ass adult. Okay, let's get into some stretches. Whew. 3 sets of Spider-Man just landed. Beefo. That's hilarious. I'm Spider. No, this is Black Widow. This is Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson and what's her name? Yelena. Where they go, whoosh, and then the hair flick. It's a wonderful scene. Okay, where are we at? I'm gonna check the comments real quick. Scrolling. And now that I have done a whole bunch of spilling coffee and Marvel entertainment, let's continue with some hamstring stretches. How we're going to set these up is, if you have a big enough cushion, you can put both your knees down on it. If you don't, you can just have one ever so slightly higher than the other. Point your hips forward, point your shoulders forward, and we are going to also stick that leg forward. If you're immediately off balance, you can wind the stance just a little bit so that it's easier to maintain balance. And right here, your belly button, we're trying to bring it down to the ground. folding it to that upper thigh. This is our starting position. I'm gonna turn around so you can see what my body is doing a little bit better. You don't have to move at all, because there's no way for me to tell whether or not you're doing the right thing anyway. Cool? Cool. From here, I want to bring the belly button down. Try to keep the low back relatively straight. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we don't want this, right? We don't want the crazy rounding. We want it relatively straight. Right now, your hamstrings should be pretty tight, pretty okay, but we're gonna push it to the next level. We're gonna take a big inhale and exhale, and on the exhale, I want it to be nice and slow, and I want you to fold forward deeper into the stretch. Ready? Inhale. Exhale and fold. Okay, take some normal breaths. Your hamstrings should be super tight and uncomfortable and going, what the heck is going on? We're gonna do one more inhale, exhale. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale. Fold. And that is all we're doing. 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. I like this position because if you want to reduce pressure, you have your hands on either side to help reduce pressure. But if you want to increase pressure, technically, you can just slowly start removing some hands, start removing some support, and now your upper body is supporting itself, and that stretch just got more intense. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is hamstring stretch on one side. Breathe, chill, and we'll do it again on the other side. Let's go. Point your hips, point your knees, point your shoulders, point everything forward. Stick that leg out, widen the stance if you need it for balance. Remember, it's all about bringing the belly button down, fold forward. And let's do the inhale, exhale. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Your hamstrings are unhappy, and that is a-okay. It's probably just normal discomfort. Let's take some normal breaths and go again. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Try to imagine relaxing your glutes, relaxing your hamstrings, and see if that helps. It's not really helping me, but that's okay. Maybe it helps you. All right, we're here. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Again, try to keep that back relatively straight. I know my back bends all the time. I try to catch myself, but inevitably I'm like, what's going on with my leg over here? 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. You're always trying to touch your belly button to the thigh. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, and don't hold your breath. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Come on out of that hamstring stretch. We are done. You can get rid of the cushion. You don't need it anymore. Just try not to break anything or knock anything over or smash your head into shelves that you keep on forgetting it right there. And we're gonna move on right away into the butterfly stretch, which looks a little bit like this. We are bringing our feet together. We're pulling it in towards our groin area. And ta-da, this is basically the butterfly stretch. The goal here is to bring the knees down into the ground and use that to open up the muscles here in the groin. I want you to use your muscles these muscles, the outer thigh muscles and the glutes, to help strengthen them while we train them to pull our knees into the ground. The next part of this is we are going to put some pressure onto the knees and hopefully open them up a little bit further. If you have weights, you can just go drop them right on down. But for most of us, it will be much easier for you to get your butt to a wall. So let's get to a wall and talk about what that means. Right now, I'm against this wall. My hips, my shoulder, my head is resting against the wall. Pulling my feet in together, getting back into the butterfly position. You might notice immediately that my knees are already much lower to the ground than before when I was sitting right there. And that's because the wall is supporting my back, giving me this nice straight up posture and helping me to focus my energy into this stretch. So let's contract those muscles. Remember, outer thighs, glutes, contract, 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 contract. If you are feeling some pressure in the mid-back against the wall, that is the wall keeping you from falling backwards when you contract these muscles. And it is your best friend. Once you have contracted those muscles and you've opened up your legs as much as you can, we're going to apply some pressure. We're going to push down with our hands on the outside of the knee here. And you're going to start feeling pressure in the shoulders, in the back of your head when you do this. And that is because the wall is keeping you from falling backwards, so that this force that you're applying is getting pushed into your legs. That's it. Let's go. We're going to do 30 seconds. I'm going to change my angle so that I actually fit against the wall. Where is this outlet? I don't want to put my back to that. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. You might notice if you're looking at the camera angle, maybe my shirt is a little too baggy, but my hips are coming further away from the wall while I'm pushing my legs down. I have some flexibility limitations here, and that means it's totally okay if you are just slightly off the wall. Cool? Off the wall as in the stretch. If you're crazy, then I don't know. If the people around you think it's okay, that's okay too. Cool. All right. I don't know if I started counting. 30, 29, 28. This might just be a really long butterfly. 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. If you're wondering why I'm just holding a yoga block in front of my face, is because this room has a lot of echoiness. I don't know if you can hear the echoiness. I can hear like a boom, boom every time I count. And I was like, what if I put something in front of my mouth? Does it not just bounce off all the walls and become less echoey? I don't know. But when I'm standing and I'm facing out towards you guys, the echo is way less bad because this is kind of enclosed area and that's not as nearly enclosed. Okay, what did we just do? We did the butterfly stretch. We're moving on into the third stretch, the standing pancake. But before we do that, I gotta remind you, we're doing 45-ish minutes of live side split stretching. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a bit of community. I try to bring good vibes into the internet. I hope you bring good vibes into the chat and support each other, because suffering on the floor, doing anything consistently that just requires consistent slight pain sucks. And I want to make that a little bit more fun, a little bit more engaging, so we can work towards our goals together. And that's why we're here. We do this every day at 9 p.m. Eastern. On weekends, I add in a bonus time. We go at 9 a.m. Eastern as well. So if you're interested in practicing some side splitty looking things, hip mobility, moving a little bit better on the ground, this is the place for you to be. Hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back. And that is the spiel. Let's move into standing pancake. You don't have to open up your legs this wide. If you're already feeling pain in your hips, then don't. Come back up, and we're gonna hang out in a less intense position. If your hips are not hurting, great. Now we're gonna fold forward. We're gonna bring the belly button down. It's always about the belly button. We're gonna try and face the belly button to the floor. And if it looks like we're just trying to touch our toesies, that's right. That's exactly what we are doing. From the side, it's gonna look a little bit more like this. And this is how we're starting the standing pancake. The pancake position, the end goal is to get the belly button and the head, pretty much everything up here, way in between your legs. And we're trying to go deep in between our legs. And it's hard. It's a crazy hard move. It's probably one of my worst stretches in the whole entire series that we do. So I like to do the version where gravity gives you a lot of help. In this case, when you hang out like this, you might feel gravity pulling your head, pulling your chest, pulling everything down. And that is exactly what we want. It makes the stretch a little bit more intense, and it makes the stretch a little bit more effective. From here, we got a bunch of options. The first thing you can do is stick your arms out in front of you, and then suddenly you'll feel like it's a way more intense stretch. If you want to hold a water bottle, something ridiculous and ginormous is unnecessary, but something in front of you, it will have a big impact on the stretch. When you do that, if you're starting to feel a little bit off balance, like you're struggling from tipping over, struggling not to tip over, you can stick your butt back just a little bit. So you start that folding position, not with your whole body extended out in front of you, but with your weight a little bit more centered because your butt is back. Cool, I hope that makes sense, because I can't explain that any better right now. Yeah, another option. The other option is you can grab your leg and you can pull your belly button down towards the ground, and whatever comes with it, chest, head, etc. And you can force yourself into position by pulling on your legs. I recommend you experiment with both. I recommend you do both and figure out what you like. I think pulling on your leg is going to be more intense and scary, so try both. All right, those are your options. Let's get into it. From here, while you are folded forward, you can widen your stance as much as you want. We are already in a side split looking position, so your hips should not hurt more. When you're standing up straight and you have your legs apart, that is when your hips get weird. But if you are folded like this, you can go as wide as you want. Cool? That's it. Let's go. Extend your arms, pull your legs, switch at some point in the middle. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27. The goal is to bring the belly button down towards the ground. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, put your hands down. Come on out of that stretch. Whew. If you had your legs in a super wide position at some point, you might have realized that it is really tiring. Your muscles might have been shaken and things might not have been going so smoothly. That is totally normal, and that is because the deeper into the stretch that you get, the weaker your muscles are going to be in that position because you don't train those positions, and those legs might just start shaking and quivering, and that is a sign that your nervous system is trying to figure out what the heck is going on. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's going to be uncomfortable, it's going to be a little bit weird, but you're basically training your brain, you're training your muscles to get better at holding that position and staying strong. You're just not quite there yet. Whew. Is that enough about the standing pancake? I think that's enough. We're going to move on. And we're going to get into the pigeon. Yesterday, we did the figure 4, so today we're going to talk about the pigeon. That water bottle that I just brought onto the floor to show you, putting a weight in front of you, has condensed a lot of moisture. And I just put a lot of it on the floor, making it slightly more dangerous than I'd like while we do the side splits, but it's not that much. It's okay, I just spread it out over a bigger area so it makes more things slippery. No big deal. All right, we're going to get into the pigeon. No, we're not. Yes, we are. We're getting into the pigeon because yesterday we did the figure 4. The stretches basically have one component that's the same between the two of them. We're bringing the ankle up to the opposite side. We're lifting that ankle and we're bringing the belly button down towards that leg. From the side, it's going to look something like this. And we want to feel the stretch here in the outer hip in the side of the glute. All right. So for the pigeon, we got a couple options. If you are flexible enough to get right into a standard yoga looking pigeon, your ankle is coming across to the other side, your hips are staying low, you are folding your belly button and chest forward. You might be feeling a stretch in the hamstrings, but I want you to feel the main stretch here in the hips. Then you're good to go. That's it. This back leg, I'm gonna spin around for a second. This back leg can be in two different positions. If you can't get your leg all the way back like so, that is absolutely okay. You can just keep it bent to the side like that, because we care mostly about the hip. If you want to make sure that you're making the most of every minute of this live and you want to work on that leg and you can't get it back there, what you can do is elevate that front leg. It doesn't have to be this low. It could be higher if you need additional support. But what we are doing by elevating our hips, we're giving more space for this leg to go backwards. Cool? And ta-da, that is still a pigeon with a slightly elevated hip. I hope that makes sense. I know I'm way too close to the camera and my head is completely chopped off, but that's all you're getting for today. So let's get into the pigeon and let's get going. I'm gonna angle slightly weird so that you can see what the body is doing. And let's go. We're bringing the knee, ankle, that bone across the body. We are keeping the hips low. If you can, stick that leg out behind you. We're trying to bring the midpoint of the chest down, sort of towards the midpoint between the knee and the ankle. And fold forward. We don't want our hips to come up like you're bowing. All right? We want the hips to stay low and the chest to come down to wherever it can from this side. That's it. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, that is the pigeon on one side. We're going to switch over to the other side. Once again, bring the leg across the body, angling the hips so that you can fold your chest right over that leg. Ooh, I found a coffee stain from earlier. And extend the leg back if you can, bend the leg if you can't, elevate the leg if you just desperately need to because you will be unsatisfied. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. If you notice the stretch is suddenly getting easier, you can push your ankle away from you and that will make the stretch way more intense. In general, that will always make the stretch more intense, so you can feel free to do that even if you don't feel like the stretch has gotten easier. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Oh, come out of that stretch. We just did pigeon on both sides, and it is done. I hope if you've never really tried pigeon before, you enjoyed it, because it's one of those stretches where you can really just kind of let your brain wander and you still get the full benefit of the stretch. There are a lot of stretches where, like, if you're really good at them, you can do the same thing. You can just chill in that stretch. But most of the time, to get really good at the stretch, it's a huge pain in the butt, and you put a lot of time before you get there, right? The pigeon is one of those things where, relatively new to the experience, if you can just chill out a little bit and lean forward a little bit, you can get a crazy stretch, and your brain can just do whatever, and you can just relax while you suffer a little bit in the hip. Okay, that's it. Come on up. We are moving on into the final thing, the thing that we're all here for, the side splits. We do 3 rounds of 30 seconds of side splits, and then in between, we shake out our bodies and we try to get the muscles to relax as much as possible so that we can go back into the next round as relaxed as possible and get as much of a stretch as we can. Let's talk about safety. Right here behind me, I got a nice little table. I got a slightly wet floor, a little bit dangerous. So this table is here because if I fall backwards, if I lose control somehow, and I just slip back, I can lean back, look real cool, talk to you anyways, and keep a little bit of dignity. But for you guys at home, I recommend you get really close to something very stable so that you have the same effect. In this case, my preference is the wall right here. If you stand about 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall and you get into a side split position, you lose balance, you're like, oh, what's going on? If you fall backwards, the wall is there. It'll keep you safe. It won't be the most pleasant impact as you fall backwards, but it is not the same as your butt slamming another 2 feet onto the ground and making your tailbones hurt. Cool? So that is our safety component. Go stand in front of something that you can fall back into and will help keep you safe so you don't bust your butt falling all the way down to the ground. If you are super advanced at your side split stuff anyway, and the fall is going to be like 2 inches, then you can ignore me. You don't need a wall. Yeah. All right, let's do it. Let's get into some side splits. Whew. We're going to try and get into a pretty wide position. Again, if your hips are hurting, you don't have to be that deep. Just come into whatever you can handle. We're gonna fold forward just like we did in the standing pancake. But here, when you're folded forward and you have your hands down, I want you to try and get a little bit deeper into the stretch and widen your stance. From here, I want you to imagine you're doing a little bit of a push-up. You're shifting a whole bunch of body weight into your arms so that you can reduce some of the weight in your legs and you can externally rotate them a little easier. External rotation is your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are up. I'm gonna scoop my butt back to make sure everything is visible on the camera. Heels down, toes up, knees up. Heels down, toes up, knees up on both legs. And when we do that, we're basically in a position where our thigh bones and our hip bones are okay and happy with us having our legs go wide. Otherwise, there's no otherwise. We're moving on. Next topic. From here, we're walking the hands back towards our hips. And we're putting all that pressure that we had in our hands, but leaning forward right back into our legs, feeling that intense stretch. Breathe. See if you can sink a little bit deeper into the stretch as you try to relax and try to breathe. And then do a little bit of wiggle from side to side, side to side, to side to side. If you can't move any further and you're stuck, you're done, you can't, it's too hard, then 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, that's a lot. That's tough. Ugh. Lean forward, get back onto your hands, walk your arms forward, pull the legs in, and chill here for a little bit. Ah, man. Your hip muscles are probably a little tense, a little bit confused, a little bit unhappy with you, you can give them a light massage. And as you rest here and emotionally prepare for 2 more rounds, let's physically prepare for 2 more rounds. Come on up into standing. We're going to shake it out. We're going to shake out the tension. All of what we just did was put a whole bunch of tension into our leg muscles, into our hips. And what we want to do right now is shake it all out, get them nice and relaxed. What that means is, if you're new, we're going to flick the hands and the legs. We're going to do something that looks like this. Imagine you're just getting out of the pool, getting out of the beach, and you're trying to get the water off your leg because you don't like it when it slowly drips down the leg. You're trying to flick it all off. I don't know why I'm making those weird sound effects. Shake, 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 shake. Switch to the other side. Shake, 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 shake. The goal of the shakes is to have your leg muscles get looser and looser and looser while you do them. And for the muscles to be flopping around, for the ankle to be flopping around. And as you get looser, you'll know that you're getting looser because you'll feel a whole bunch more wiggling in the leg. You can add in a little bit of wiggle from side to side. If you plant just the toe down, there's no weight on this leg. It's just there to help have an axis to spin on. We're shaking the leg. Shake, 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 shake. This is, I call Stanky Leg Junior. And you can do it a little bit more intensely with real rotation. You can do just a light wiggle from side to side. And we are just getting the muscles to relax. So if you're not getting these motions perfect, you're like, what the heck is he doing? Don't worry about it right now. We're just shaking and letting everything get loose. Loose, 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 loose. So, if your legs are starting to feel a little bit more normal, feeling a little bit more not strange, like you just did a side split, then we're going in the right direction. Give your hips a little bit of a light massage. We're going to put them right to work in like 10 seconds. So, is there anything else that we need to cover? No. Slowly find your way to whatever it is that you're going to fall back on. We got 30 more seconds of side splits coming right up. Open up those legs decently wide, no pain. Fold at the hips, put your hands down. Shift some of that weight into your arms so that it's easier to externally rotate the legs so that your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are up. You can start this time doing a little bit of a wiggle from side to side a little bit earlier. You don't have to wait until the very end. Walk your hands back towards your hips. Put that weight into your legs. Do a little bit more of a wiggle. And as you get deeper and deeper and you question your choices in hobbies, just breathe. Breathe. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. If at any moment your stretch feels too intense, you can shift your weight forward. If you put your weight back into your hands, it'll change the angle of the stretch, and this one technically is a little bit more side splitty. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, oh man, 2, 1, 0. Oh, we're done with that. Walk your hands forward, pull your legs in, and come back into this kneeling position. Give your hips a light massage. Whoa, we just finished side split number 2. We do 3 in total. So let's get ready for number 3 with as much leg relaxation as possible. We're gonna shake out the legs. Shake, 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 shake. 5 to 10 seconds is probably enough. But if you want to take it to the next level, really shake it out, then please experiment. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Shake, 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 shake. Again, we're starting gentle like this, just flicking water off of our arms and legs. And then as you get more advanced, Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Hold on to something for a little bit of balance. And part of the reason why we know this works is if you did a whole bunch of bicep curls and you're going for another set, your bicep is so tense you can't even straighten your arms anymore and you're walking around a little bit like this, right? That is muscle tension holding you back, not letting you fully relax. That's what we're trying to avoid here with our legs. We're trying to get them to relax as much as possible so that when you get into the next stretch, you're gonna be as extended, as stretchy, as long as possible. Cool. Okay, that is a whole bunch of relaxation. I think it's time to move on to side split number 3. If you are just joining in, we do 45. At this point, it's probably been an hour already. 60 minutes of live side split stretching every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to hang out with people on the internet, sharing good vibes. I try to bring good energy. I hope you bring good energy into the chat and support each other, because we are here every day at 9 p.m. Eastern to suffer together, practice a lot, and hopefully that combination will be the perfect combination to help you make a whole bunch of progress in your hip mobility, in your side splits, and that, I assume, is the goal and why you're here. So if that makes sense, hit follow, hit subscribe, keep on coming back, because we are here every day at 9 p.m. Eastern, and on weekends, we are also here at 9 a.m. Eastern. That seems weirdly pertinent because the weekend is coming up. Okay, let's get into some side splits. Again, stand right in front of something that will keep you safe if you start falling backwards. I have a table. I recommend a wall, 8 to 12 inches in front of it will do. Open up those legs. Fold forward. Put your hands down. Shift the weight into your arms so it's easier to externally rotate the legs, which means your heels are down, your toes are up, your knees are pointing up. Sit back into that stretch. Walk your hands back. And once you are as deep as you think you can get for the moment, go a little bit further with a wiggle from side to side. See if just a little bit of wiggling can break the friction holding your feet back. And once you've gotten a little bit deeper, it's time for our final 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27. You can add in a wiggle at any time. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. We're almost done. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, curl your arms forward. Pull the legs in. Oh, doing that third round, your hips are probably more tired than ever before, and it's going to take a couple seconds extra to get back into this kneeling position. So take your time. Give that hip a light massage. And when you're ready, we're going to shake it out one more time. We're shaking out this final time to make sure your body's relaxed and recovered before you go back to doing whatever you got to do. And yeah, realize, wow, okay, this leg is super tired and I should have relaxed more before I left and went to go do those things. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Let the muscles relax. You should feel eventually that your ankles are flopping around. Maybe your calf muscles are swinging around. Maybe that aggressive shaking has your quads moving, your hamstrings moving, and those are all good. We want floppiness. We want relaxation. I want you to feel like we just boiled a whole bunch of pasta. You're getting pulled out of the pot and you're going, that is the goal. Floppy, shaky, loose, wiggly, jello-y. I'm out of words to describe what I want this to feel like. So let's move on. Since we have shaken it all out, there's a couple of points I want to emphasize before we let you go. The first one is this hip right here might be feeling a little bit tender, a little bit stiff. I want you to sort of get into that pigeon position, lift the ankle up, and see if that is a little bit of love that you need here. And if it is, you can pretend you're kicking a hacky sack, or, I don't know, doing more pigeon if you want. If you want, you can add in a little bit more hip movement. You can add in the hip carves that we were doing right at the very beginning. If you know what those are, you can just give those hips a little bit of love, because we shake out the legs, and shaking out the legs doesn't do quite as much for the hips. Okay, I'm gonna do one hip car, one kind of sloppy hip car, just to make sure my hips are feeling okay, loosening up the muscles. And with that, we are basically done. I'm gonna do one last thing. We're gonna check all the joints to see that they are working well together. We're gonna start with some hip rotations. Everything is about the hips, if you have not realized already. We're gonna do a little bit of high knees, work those hip flexors. We're gonna pop into a little bit of a squat. Fold here, put some pressure in the knees, put some pressure in those ankles, put some pressure in the toes, and come on up, do a couple of squats, do a couple of calf raises, and if everything is working well together, or normal for you, then we are all done. I'm still shaking out my legs. I feel like the calves are so tight. All right, that is it. Congratulations. We have completed, I have absolutely no idea what the time is. Oh, 56 minutes. We're doing really good on time. We've completed 56 minutes of live side split stretching, and it's done. Congratulations. I hope you enjoyed the workout. I hope you enjoyed a good sweat. I hope you feel like you're a lot more flexible than you thought you ever were. If this is your first time joining, if you are a regular, then you probably know that you're a badass and how important it is to practice consistency. So we do this show every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern to practice that consistency, to build a little bit of community, and to make a whole bunch of progress with our side splits, because we're doing both those things, making it fun to show up and showing up a ton. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Okay, that's the spiel. I'm gonna come up really close to the chat so I can actually see what's going on. I have not been to the chat in a while. I think I did the whole entire stretch without coming back to the chat to check. So I'm gonna probably spend like 20 minutes here and hang out for as much as I can. If there are comments, I will address them, but I'm gonna try my best to do them in semi-chronological order. So I'm gonna scroll back, and it's gonna be a second before I get to the recent stuff. Forever Weird, welcome back. Miss Pris 555 wrote he. Thank you, I think. Hello, maybe. Hello. And a bunch of people are following, a bunch of people shared the live. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm gonna keep scrolling. One of the cons of not coming back to the phone to look at the chat is there are fewer messages usually when I forget to come back, because I'm focused on trying to get the show done. Bifo says 3 sets of Spider-Man just landed. Lovely. Okay, I remember seeing that earlier. That's why I did the Black Widow, Yelena thing. Yaya Smo sends a lol, and Forever Weird gives a whole bunch of compliments. Travel with Roxy says, I was going to say Black Widow too. Great. I'm glad I was not the only one on that inside joke of pop culture. Angel says, wow, huge crowd. I honestly have not been close enough to the camera to know what that huge crowd was, but I appreciate that there might have been a huge crowd. Scrolling down, as Fly Girl says, thank you. No, thank you. Travel Darcy says, literally, we're all in this together, or I guess here we're all suffering together. Yes, absolutely. The stretches that we do, you know, on some level, you're just sitting there suffering and hoping the suffering is worth it, right? And hopefully, you know, the social proof of YouTube demonstrates that people get more flexible over time with some stretching. So it's worth doing. And you should do a little bit more of it. That's why we're here. Ganowski says, here, my schedule straightens out next week, Ken. Ganowski, thank you for being here and trying to be back, even though it doesn't really work with your schedule. I appreciate it. Chess says, I fell asleep for a few seconds. Was my ASMR voice so chill? Or was I just taking way too long explaining something that you already knew? Che has been a super regular, super consistent follower. I think Che has been here nonstop, like every single day. I don't think Che's missed a day in like a month. So Che knows the drill inside and out, knows all the things that I'm going to say because inevitably they've heard it a bunch of times, a bunch of times. And maybe Che fell asleep because they know it. They know it cold. Okay, Forever Weird says, my carpet is too slippery for this. If your carpet is too slippery, what can you do to make the stretch a little bit more stable? There are a couple of things. One, you can choose and find and look for, I don't know why I said 3 different words for the same thing, certain things that stay stable the whole time. In my case, if you hang out by the edge of a wall, that wall is not moving anywhere, right? So at least one leg will be a little bit more stable. And if you get a slightly heavier piece of furniture or something nearby, that should give you just enough resistance that it'll help you not slip and fall apart. It's not always the case, but it should help. If you're wearing socks and you're doing it on carpet, that might be the double whammy of friction reduction. If you are slipping a ton, even though you're barefoot, then do I really have any other suggestions? There's like some secondary stuff that might be helpful. For example, if you have yoga blocks and we're trying to get into a side split stretch, and instead of having your legs slide all the way out, you kind of stop it because your hands are holding you back and your weight is centered on the yoga blocks or whatever you're using to elevate your hands, then that will help reduce the intensity of the stretch and give you a little bit more control over the position. I'm falling backwards. I was not 8 to 12 inches in front of my desk. Whew. So it was a good thing I caught myself. All right. What else we got in the chat? For the side split stretch, gravity is pulling me down further and faster than I like. Let me think. If you are going down and dropping down fast, yeah, I think it's the same thing. You can grab something to hold on to. I don't usually use this chair, and that's because it takes up so much space in front of the camera. But if you're gonna do the side split in front of the chair, you can hold on to a chair for a little bit of balance. Cool, and using your hands, you can slow it down a little bit. This chair is really creaky, and I think some of the screws or bolts or whatever it is that's attaching it together are just a little bit loose. So I'm gonna go put that over there and not address it. What else we got? Scrolling down. Bethy Photo 23 says, thank you so much and good night. First time. Lovely. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for doing the work. It's not easy to scroll over to a TikTok live and be like, oh, great, I'm gonna go work out now, completely unprepared. So thank you for taking action. Thank you for sitting down and going, I can do this. I hope it's my intention to try to explain things, try to over-explain a little bit so anybody can come in and feel like they can just jump right into the next exercise. So I hope you felt welcome in that way and you're ready to go. Scrolling down, Ganowski says, thank you. I can scratch my head with foot. What the heck? I can't. I know when my brother was a little kid, I think he can still do it now, but he lost the flexibility at one point. At one point, both my brother and my sister could like reach their leg behind their head and like leave it there and be like, hey, look at me, I'm so cool. I have never, ever in my entire life gotten remotely close to getting that flexible. And yeah, I don't know what the heck happened. As my little brother aged, I think he lost some of that flexibility, but then he trained for like a year doing Taekwondo and stretching all the time because he wanted to like have really cool kicks. And then he pretty much got it back and then got even more stretchy. And I was like, what the heck? As like a part-time fun stretchy thing, you got that much flexibility. I've been stretching every day and my flexibility has improved. It's changed and it's grown a lot, but it's not, I'm not massively transforming. So unfair. Okay, Forever World talked about scratching their head with their foot, which is incredible. That's wild. I tried for a second. I can't even get my toe anywhere near my face. Travel with Roxy says, thank you. What time is the workouts, Mia asks. And I assume Che has answered. Yes, Che and Travel Darcy have both answered 9 p.m. about an hour ago, 6 p.m. Pacific time daily. And on weekends, I also do 9 a.m. Eastern, which is 6 a.m. Pacific time. Mia asked the same question again. And moving on. Mitchell says, happy you popped up again. I'm at the mall, or else I try to do all these moves. It would be huge if you just started doing these moves in the middle of the mall. I'm just kidding. That's really scary and terrifying. But if that's something you're into, it would feel really, really, really cool because you just give no shits. Am I allowed to curse on the internet? I have done 1 or 2 of these lives in public. I think maybe 3 at this point. 2 of them in like really public places. One of them was at an airport because I was traveling in between countries and I had a layover that just overlapped with our regular lifetime. And I was like, I'll do it. What's the worst that can happen? This is a huge test of my self-confidence, and it was scary. It was so scary. I was like making eye contact with everybody. I was like, yeah. So I don't like that. That's no fun. But I've also done a live at a park a couple weeks after that live, and that was a lot less stressful because there's way fewer people walking through it. The environment was not like people stressing out trying to make the next connecting flight, and it was just a bunch of like kids wandering around, and that made it super chill. Lots of technical difficulties trying to do it off data, but I enjoyed it, even if I don't know. I can't imagine you guys had that much fun. For everybody who was here during it, because the internet was disconnecting, YouTube completely flopped right at the very beginning, and then I think I didn't have my earbuds connected, so the microphone was just coming from the phone, and I was out in public, so you could hear birds, and some of it was very peaceful, I'm sure, but I could have done a better job. So lots of stuff learned about doing stuff publicly. Che, your voice is guided meditation, brings peace to my soul. Thank you. Wow, that is so nice. That is so kind. Thank you, Che. Forever World says, you're very brave. I think that as part of the journey of posting a whole bunch of stuff online with my face, at some point I gotta get more comfortable with being able to do stuff in public in front of other people, because it's really hard to film content about, for example, muscle ups if you don't have a pull-up bar that you can use. And outside pull-up bars, calisthenic gyms tend to be very durable and very scenic, and I just need to go use those things. So part of doing the lives outside was making sure I was testing the limits of my comfort zone a little bit at a time, not every day, just methodically testing it to make sure that I am growing more comfortable with speaking, with stretching in public, doing things that, might make most people feel a little bit embarrassed, because the reality is I'm never going to see any of those people ever again anyway, and it's okay if they judge me. It's okay, because they're not going to talk to me anyway. All right, that is my spiel for the day. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed the stretching. I hope you're feeling a little bit stretchy and feeling like it's easy to stay consistent, because that's what the whole life is all about. It is about staying consistent. Ganowski says, stretch series, like best stretches before long travel. Absolutely. That is a really good idea. And we definitely got to do a version where it's like economy class versus business class. I think actually if it's business, maybe you don't need any stretching at all. You just lay down or whatever. Stretching on the train, in a totally cramped train with no air conditioning, local train. Long-term travel on a flight that's 11 hours to the other side of the world. Stretching in the aisle. I got it. It's on the to-do list. Okay, I think that is all of the comments. And I accidentally just closed TikTok. Whoops. Bye-bye. And I think that's time to wrap up. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Hope you had fun. Hope you stretched well. And I hope to see you tomorrow. I'm closing out the chat, closing out the live. Goodbye. Closing off you.